Hey, how's it going? Josh here from Tek With Josh, and this is episode number 18 of Tek With Josh. This episode is titled The Rise of Prepaid Wireless. So, in the mobile space, we have postpaid and prepaid wireless companies. Postpaid means you get a bill after you use the service, whereas prepaid, you pay up front for the month of service, hence the difference in the name. So, what are some of the postpaid providers? Before we go into prepaid, what's postpaid? Well, in America, we have three big providers. Verizon Wireless, AT&T, and then we have T-Mobile. Used to have Sprint, Cellular, and that's a bunch of other providers, but now it's down to three. And I know you guys, if you watch TV and see commercials, you've seen Ryan Reynolds ads for Mint Mobile, or if you follow his YouTube. You've seen George Costanza, Jason Alexander do ads for Visible Mobile, or you've seen Boost Mobile ads, or 100 different companies. So this episode's to talk about that and see, is it worth you to make the switch? So postpaid providers give you some benefits. Like I said, one of them, you get billed after the usage. You get billed in the mail, email, however, through an app. And you're also getting better options to finance the phone. So with postpaid, you get to put on the bill, finance it that way. You could go Apple or Best Buy, get through that. But you can go to a store or walk out with a phone if they have it in stock, and if you're eligible for upgrade. You also get access to high priority data. What does priority access mean? So there's different levels. The top level is the highest account. So for my plan, I have a business account with the highest tier. So I have priority access and I don't get throttled until after over like 100 gigs of data per line. Then you have the next tier, which may be 40 gigs, 50 gigs. Then tier under that after 20 gigs. And then you have, like, for example, T-Mobile Senior Plan, where you get unlimited data, but it's deprioritized, so you don't have the full speed. Because seniors, they essentially don't need that much speed. Another good thing about postpaid plans is insurance. So through my provider, I have Asurion in case something happens to my phone. Call them up if it's lost, stolen, damaged, physical, liquid. Call them up, pay a deductible on the bill, and they send me a new phone. They can't replace it. They give me the dollar value of the phone back, which has happened. So now prepaid. What are some of the prepaid providers? There's probably hundreds at this point, but I'm going to name some of the big ones. Mint Mobile, which was owned by Ryan Reynolds, who he sold to T-Mobile. Metro PCS, also owned by T-Mobile. Visible Mobile, owned by Verizon. Boost Mobile, which was owned by Sprint, is now owned by Dish Network. Google Fi is owned by Google. Consumer Cellular is their own thing. Cricket is owned by AT&T. And then you have cable company wireless plans such as Spectrum Mobile, Optimum Mobile. I'm not going to get into them because you have to be a customer to get okay pricing. So I'm going to focus on these. And prepaid, Visible, you can get a plan, $25 a month. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Basic unlimited is not like you're going to get 5G Ultra wideband and you're deprioritized, but it's $25 a month, including all taxes and fees per line. No caveat, you don't have to be a Verizon customer and none of that. Mint Mobile, you have to prepay it to get the best plan for a year. So unlimited is $30 a month. Using T-Mobile's network gives you a couple more features than the Visible. But hey, $360 and it's $30 a month essentially for unlimited. Boost Mobile, $25 right now is the rate. Depending on when you're listening, prices are subject to change. Right? And Google Fi, the reason I put this on the list, because I've used this in the past. Way back when, before, 2017, I think? When it first came out. Before there was a Pixel. So then with Google Fi, it gives you flexible options like Ting Wireless, that you pay for whatever gigs you use. And any gigs that you don't use, you get paid back. It's the whole thing. But they also have unlimited. But the good thing about them is if you travel internationally, you can use your phones over there and use from that data that you're paying for. So another big thing about postpaid are they work internationally. You do have to pay if you're not on T-Mobile. So like Verizon, AT&T, if you're on the unlimited plans, it's $10 a day while you're traveling. Some prepaid plans have unlimited international access, but may end up costing you more money. Okay, so why would you get a prepaid plan? It's cheaper. You can get $30 a month for unlimited for Mint Mobile, 25 for visible, 45 if you do the higher visible plan with the ultra wideband, things like that. But that's after 6 months. They have a deal right now, 6 months, 35. But it's cheaper plans. You get similar coverage to what you have now because most of these brands, as I told you who they're owned by, are owned by bigger wireless. So they're using those same antennas and everything, same cell towers. So wherever you have coverage with regular Verizon, you have with Visible, or wherever you have coverage with your regular T-Mobile, you have Mint Mobile and Metro PCS coverage. Also, the big providers have their own prepaid under their own name. So there's a Verizon prepaid, T-Mobile prepaid, AT&T prepaid that they have as well. But they cost more than the ones I'm giving you, the off-brand ones. And guess what? It gives you flexibility. So say 1 month, you know you're not going to use your phone as much, you could downgrade your plan for some of these providers. Like Google Fi. You could just go on the base package and pay for 1 gig of data if you're going to be somewhere where there's Wi-Fi around you, and then you can upgrade it to unlimited the next month easily. There's no real proration compared to big wireless. You want to upgrade your plan, you might not be able to if you have a family plan because, hey, your line discounts might get messed up, stuff like that. Oh, Josh, you just said family plans, so I can only get that on postpaid, right? No. You can have family plans now with a lot of these providers for prepaid. It will all be through the one app, and each one will have their individual plan, which is why it's great for flexibility. So now, who wouldn't get a prepaid, and why wouldn't you get prepaid? Well, some of the plans, if you get the base packages, they're deprioritized data. If you want the full speed or HD streaming, you can't do it on all prepaid plans. They're not created equally. Sure, they might be unlimited, but to a certain extent, some plans only give you 20 gigs, whereas the postpaids will give you 50 gigs before they throttle you. Hotspots are limited speed compared to some postpaid that give you full speed up to this many gigs, whereas on prepaid, you might get 128 kilobits of hotspot or just 5 gigs of hotspot instead of like 20, things like that. Another reason why you wouldn't get it is because if you want to purchase a phone, you might not be able to finance it through the prepaid carrier. Some customers like to buy their phone in a store. You can't do that with prepaid because most of these companies are online only. If you need customer service, you have to text or a chat. It's a chat bot or someone behind it. You can't go into a store and get help. It's like Apple One 365 is online savings because it's a higher rate, so they want you to do everything online. But let's get back to financing a phone. So if you want to buy a phone, you have to go. If it's an iPhone, you can go to the Apple store and get it there. And if you have an Apple card, you can finance it, things like that. But now even Apple's no longer going to offer financing on the unlocked version, which is what you would technically need for these providers. And then Samsung, you can go Samsung directly, do a special financing through them, or go Best Buy. So you go Google Store. Couldn't do it through Fi because Google owns Fi, so they let you finance it. But here's the thing. So you get this new phone, some of these providers won't offer insurance. If you go to Apple and get it through them and finance it, you could get the Apple Care that covers lost or stolen as well. So you're covered. But then if Samsung, you might have to look into their own warranty. But like I said, the big providers for the postpaid, big three, they have a sharing on partners with them. You pay a monthly fee and then you have the deductible. But the good thing about now is everybody gave the iPhone 14 crap for being eSIM only in America, the whole series, but eSIM is the future. My first device that had eSIM was actually a watch. The Samsung Gear S2 had an electronic SIM in it. What electronic SIM allows you to do is activate a device without a physical SIM card, which makes sense, hence electronic SIM. And with this, it allows you to switch providers much easier and even try out new providers. So, prime example, Visible Mobile. I tried them out a few weeks ago and I just download the app, set up a free trial. Same thing with Verizon. They offer free trials, and if you have a phone that could handle the eSIM, you just set it up and test drive it. No credit card needed. It's great. And for international travel, I was able to give my parents a data SIM while they were in the Dominican Republic so that I didn't have to pay $10 a day for the international use. So with eSIM, it allows us to try out these new providers in tandem with our current provider to see how the data speeds are, call quality, coverage, everything. So if you want to try it out, go for it. Like I said, I've tried it in the past. I was a Google Fi customer with a Netsys 6P many years ago when the Netsys 6P was still new. And I also tried Visible, but it's not for me because I need the higher data allotment. I need mobile hotspot over 100 gigs for when I'm out and about creating because I don't use public Wi-Fi's. I do have a VPN, but I prefer using my own phone as a hotspot or my iPad as a hotspot because guess what? Those public Wi-Fi's, you're not going to get the same speed because everybody's on it. Whereas my phone, if I'm getting 600 megabits down, I'd rather use that because it'd be a better connection. So test drive it. See, talk to friends and family. If you look on YouTube, you can find reviews of people who switched over and they love it because it saves them money for their use case. They don't care about buying a phone every year. They don't care about insurance for their phone because they're good with it and they trust themselves. They don't care about the higher priority data because they're at home for the most part. And when they're around outside the home, they can use the phone, which might not be as fast as Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile postpaid, but guess what? It gets the job done. The GPS will work. They can upload photos to social media. Just works. So you just have to find what works for you and just go with it because if you're paying $90 a month for an unlimited plan with a big 3 postpaid provider, why not pay $45 for Visible after the first 6 months? Once again, none of this is sponsored. Or why not get Boost Mobile or Consumer Cellular to try? You know, if you have any comments, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.